The voice is always aging technically, right? Like we wake up every day and every day our bodies are a day older. It's important to care for the aging voice because as the voice ages, it can weaken. The voice is made up of a bone and a ton of muscle and some cartilage. And so what do we know about aging muscles? They weaken over time. The uniqueness of the voice, though, is that weakness and instability of the aging voice can often be perceived as reflecting intellectual instability, which is so sad. Presbyphonia, or the aging of the voice, can impair the credibility then of the wisest among us. It's very important to care for aging voices. An aging voice is the voice of a postmenopausal woman or the voice of a man after he has lived through his 50s. And these physical changes affect everybody, not just amateur singers, professional singers, not just people who like to yap at their friends for fun, but professional speakers. It affects everybody. The difference, though, is the shape in which that part of the body is in before the aging occurs. So if someone's professionally using their voice and they have a very strong functional instrument, they're going to be in better shape as they age than someone who's not. And so the aging will be perceived faster. Something scientists have observed and researched about presbyphonia is actually stuff that happens in our nervous system. The vagus nerve branches off into the recurrent laryngeal nerve and the superior laryngeal nerve, and those nerves innervate, the larynx. And what do we know about nerves? Myelin gets wrapped around as we repeat tasks. That's part of how those tasks become easier to complete. Well, as aging occurs, sometimes the myelin can weaken, which then weakens what the brain is telling the body to do and how the body responds. Another finding is glottal gaps. The vocal folds are intended to come together and vibrate. What's really common amongst females is that there's always a little gap in the back. It's called a glottal chink. What we notice in presbyphonia is that these glottal gaps, they increase in men and they change in women. Other changes that can occur is vocal fold bowing. So the vocal folds make a V, they come together, and then bowing is when one vocal fold is sort of bent like that. So we have all this space in the glottis. Additionally, scientists have noticed asymmetry in how the vocal folds vibrate from one side to the other. That's important because the vocal folds are like doors. If we're used to the air escaping through the doors at a certain rate, but those doors start to weaken and not hold the way they used to, then the structures responsible for moving that air are also impacted. Lots to think about, huh? We can slow down presbyphonia. First of all, what we can do is take voice lessons for 6 to 12 months to evaluate improvement. As with any other kind of exercise, we notice that our bodies feel different as soon as we start a physical activity, and our bodies have to settle into it long term to really assess any improvement. And if you're out of shape, that improvement will take longer to notice, and the stability in the voice will take longer to achieve, but you can do it. Stay the course. Another thing that we can do to slow down the process of presbyphonia is to literally stay healthy. The voice is part of our body, and if it makes sense to keep our bodies healthy, doing so will positively impact our voices. In fact, research shows aging singers who are in better physical shape demonstrated less jitter of sound and were perceived as sounding younger when compared to those in poor physical shape. Get a voice teacher, start taking those lessons, and fight presbyphonia.